say welcome to News Bites. I'm Benjamin.
And I'm Evelyn Jimenez.
And I'm sure you all want to hear the latest dope in Phoenix. Not that dope, but the latest stuff.
Here he is. On September 6th, two men paid $2 to enter a cake party in Chandler, Arizona.
That's pretty cheap. They'll do anything to get people to go to Chandler.
When the people who decided to have the party decided to end the bash, the two went in and took a keg of beer to, quote, get their money's worth.
Then the two men were fatally shot with a concealed weapon.
Guess I didn't see that coming. Did they have a concealed weapons permit?
Although he had a permit, Arizona legislation has recently passed a law saying you don't need a permit to carry a concealed weapon.
A police spokesperson stated the shooting was in cake defense, and the party pooper was cleared of any wrongdoing except for throwing a lame-ass party.
I thought it was supposed to be shots first, then beer.
It looks like the public eye is in the spending habits of the Maricopa County Sheriff. This time, a key witness, Goofy, retains legal counsel as the hush money runs out.
Goofy divulged that he was paid certain sums of money and dog food to keep facts concerning the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office recent visit to Disneyland concealed. Apparently, Sheriff Joe's Mouseketeers lured Goofy into the castle dungeon and subjected him to their traditional bean baton ceremony.
This week, News Bites is beginning a new segment.
News from the 23rd century! Today, the joint NASA-Exxon project announced they have successfully completed a solar energy panel on the sun.
And in other news, peace talks stall in the Middle East, and the president announced we are pulling out of Iraq. And also, the recession is over.
And apparently we have a paper shortage. Anyways, let's see where we're at. Well, apparently that was the news from the 23rd century.
In other news, Arizona will vote on medical marijuana this November. And while backers of the initiative insist it's only for serious illnesses, a look at states with similar laws tell us otherwise.
Critics say it's not about a serious illness. They're just using people with cancer to play on our sympathies. It's a bait and switch that will effectively legalize pot. And one woman in Montana was prescribed marijuana for wearing high heels.
Hey, I'm wearing high heels!
Yeah, you are. Woo!
However, protests against Prop 203 state that the law would lead to addiction, disorientation, and more deadly car wrecks. That sounds more dangerous than texting.
Well, I don't know what kind of marijuana these people smoke. Every stoner I've ever met has a hard time getting off the couch just to pay the pizza guy. The truth is, if you vote on Prop 203, you're probably just a gun-toting bar owner that's afraid to have some competition for the people who want to get drunk.
And if you vote yes, you're probably a baby boomer deadhead.
The rest of you in Arizona are way beyond this marijuana debate. I mean, it's totally legal to lick a spadefoot toad, move to Sedona, and dance in a vibrant double rainbow. Oh my goodness, Vortex. Evelyn, have you been smoking before the news? I told you, you shouldn't do that.
I told you there was a party before the show.
That's where all our papers went. Nominee for the Delaware Senate and failed Satanist, Christine O'Donnell, corrected her previous statement that scientists have successfully used crossbreeding to raise mice with human brains. Well, she states she misunderstood her sources, and that scientists have successfully raised a human with a mouse penis.
Mickey D's, the oldest hamburger chain in Arizona, lost its biggest location from a car collision that occurred 10 years ago.
Wow. The site remained vacant until the real estate contract went up for sale. However, protests broke out all over the Phoenix area today after a group announced plans they would build a mosque on the site.
To comment on the implication of the ground beef mosque massacre is cable news commentator Glenn Speck.
Thank you, Ben. Small Mexican woman. I personally am thoroughly offended that the Muslims would even think about building a place of worship anywhere on U.S. soil, really. I think it is just wrong that they would build a mosque on such a wonderful building of American business?
Well then, a lot of people would agree with you on that issue.
It's like... I'm sorry. It's just that I love this country so much. And I can't stand to see her be finger banged by these foreigners. Isn't it enough that they're forcing their banks on us, their manufacturing business plans, number systems, and their burger joints? They want a mosque too.
Actually, terrorists don't do that. You just said what Americans have been doing to the rest of the world since World War II.
Well, I feel that the way that the terrorists have been talking about this Arizona immigration law and comparing it to the Nazis is disgusting.
Actually, terrorists don't do that either. That's actually a common metaphor that has been discussed all over the country. And besides, you demonize more politicians using swastikas and Nazi propaganda than the History Channel.
I feel like Obama is... Oh, he's defecating on the Constitution and just urinating in the mouths of every taxpayer, every American that loves this, every God-fearing American. He is just shoving...
Look, Mr. Speck, do you have any arguments that don't involve xenophobia about the mosque?
No.
Glenn Speck, everyone. Well, folks, if you're like me, you don't understand the economy at all. But we've got something for you. Somebody to debunk all the rumors in the process for you. We've invited the amazing Randy. Everyone, the amazing Randy.
Thank you.
Well, I have spent decades trying to protect people who don't know any better from fake psychics and fortune tellers who profit off them. I've been going after some small fish. There's a much larger category of the fraudulent soothsayers and e-trail readers out there who are just bilking about everything.
Psychiatrists?
Economists.
Economists? Why economists?
Have you any idea how much these people get paid to tell politicians what they want to hear? And they aren't even required to be right! An economist whose theories never actually work out is no different, really, than the rest of them.
But how can they do that?
Look, people have been worried about money, and the economy, well, I mean the economists. People have been worried about money and the economy as far as long as I've been alive. Just really very passionate about this. A predator knows that the frightened people will put up with a great deal of trouble if they can have the illusion of control from some expert. The economists perform a seemingly magical act of predicting how the economy will behave, but they bury everything they say in their jargon and hope nobody catches on. Reading an economic text is like skimming the instructions to a complicated role-playing game.
So, you say it's like no one's driving the bus?
I'm saying there are several parties trying to drive the bus all at once, in several directions all at once, and they hire these economists to explain to us why it will work out best if we just let them have their way.
And the invisible hand of the free market?
Never existed, but if it did, I would be giving you the finger. It would be, you know what I mean.
Yes, and let me say, that's pretty incredible.
You're telling me I can't believe I ever wasted time on Uri Geller. These fools are playing with our lives.
Okay, Mr. Randy, we'd like to...
And another thing. I'm sick of hearing from self-professed scientific atheists who still have chucked their blind faith to the political institutions that they were molested by as children. Oh yeah, you've finally seen past religion, but you think that another few elections will solve your problems? Prayer looks more effective than this.
All right, thanks, Amazing Randy. The Amazing Randy, everyone.
Well, folks, I know you're sad to hear it, but that's all the time we have for tonight.
This is Chevy Chase, and we're not.
God! You smell like tequila, hot dogs, and cocaine, Lindsay!
Hot dogs taste good once in a while.